So let's talk a little bit about audio and specifically about microphones. And what we're hoping is that you'll just get a better understanding of what we call pickup patterns, or how audio is captured by a microphone. Because it's very important to remember that in television and video production, audio is a very, very key factor in helping to tell a story. Now, I know that we're concentrating mostly on the video side of things. We've been talking, of course, about camera operation and, video composition and things of that nature. And the video is important. There's no question about that. But the audio is equally as important because it can help tell the story sometimes even in a better way than the video can. So it's very important to think about what kind of audio we need. And when we think about what kind of audio we need to think about what kind of microphone we're going to use, because the microphone is going to dictate how well we're able to capture that audio. So I want to talk a little bit about microphones and what are called pickup patterns, and then I want to talk a little bit about connections as well. So let's start first of all with I guess really the three main types of microphones that you probably would use in terms of television and video production. And the first one is actually, well, like the one that I'm wearing, like the one that we used when we did the interview project with the multi-camera. You remember those? Okay, those are the lavalier mics, the mics that are worn, okay? And remember now, these are the ones that clip on. They have a very thin cable, which means they're very delicate, so you have to be careful with them. You have to treat them, very carefully. And they're excellent for picking up, obviously, a person's voice. So in other words, if you do have an interview situation or you have a speaker or something of that nature, somebody talking, a lavalier mic is going to work the best for you. Now, the reason it is because, again, it is pretty much designed for that. And its pickup pattern is what we call unidirectional. Unidirectional, meaning uni or one direction. So again, it's picking up the sound, it's picking up the audio primarily just from one direction, and that is from the person speaking, right? So wherever you put that microphone, and again, you should put it about sternum high, and let it be worn by the person, and then that direction, as they speak forward, as their voice carries forward, that's the direction in which the audio is going, and that's the direction in which the audio will be picked up by this unidirectional lavalier type of microphone. So again, they're perfect for interview situations or just, again, to capture the sound of somebody speaking. And remember, of course, those are the ones that use batteries as well. And another name, actually, that you'll hear for a lavalier mic. Now, the mic itself is called a lavalier, but this type of microphone, a lavalier mic, sometimes is referred to as actually a condenser mic. Okay, so just another term that you'll use. It's a condenser mic, and really that just kind of refers to the basic overall structure of the microphone, how well it's built. It is delicate, okay? It is fragile. So as a result of that, it's referred to as a condenser type of microphone. Unidirectional because of its pickup pattern, picking up sound from one direction primarily, and also a condenser mic because, again, in terms of its structure, not very strong, but one that has to be treated with respect, okay? All right, so then the other type of microphone that you'll use quite a bit in television and video production is going to be a handheld or a stick mic. And hey, look, there I am showing you one right there. Now, this type of microphone, again, is pretty much unidirectional. Now, I say pretty much because it's designed primarily to pick up sound from one direction. Think of it as being used most often by a reporter who's on location and, reporting a story. And what they'll do is they'll, as you know, you've seen it thousands of times, they'll stand there and they'll talk into this handheld or this stick mic. And again, because it's unidirectional, it'll pick up their voice very well. They'll hold it about chest high, just like a lavalier mic. The only thing is, it's a little bit different. The stick mic or handheld mic is a little bit different from the lavalier because it will pick up more sounds from the surrounding area. So in other words, if I'm the reporter and I'm standing in the field and I'm doing my thing, I'm being heard very well because, again, of the unidirectional nature of the mic, so it's picking up my voice. But if, say, a car goes by, right, or a siren is heard in the background, or somebody just walks by and yells something, that's going to be picked up. The microphone is going to actually pick that up. Now, it won't pick it up very strongly, okay, but it will pick it up. So it has the capability, a handheld or a stick mic, has the capability of picking up sound from further away, much better than a unidirectional lavalier type of mic. All right, now keeping in mind that the handheld is primarily unidirectional, but it becomes a little bit more omnidirectional, omni or all, so picking up sounds from all or omni directions, okay? So again, they won't be real strong, but they will be picked up, and as a result, a handheld mic can work for you. Well, it can work for you in a good way, because what you can do is you don't actually have to just hold it to speak into it, but you can take it and you can put it or point it toward the center of any sound that you want to capture. And it will do that. It will pick up that sound, again, because it is primarily unidirectional, but it'll also pick up sounds from around. So if you take a handheld mic, and we strongly suggest that you do this, if you take a handheld mic, go ahead and just point it in the direction of whatever sound you might want to capture. The sound of somebody walking, the footsteps, the sound of maybe water dripping, whatever it might be. A handheld mic will be excellent to take and hold it and point it in the direction of whatever sound you want to pick up. It'll definitely pick it up clearly from the front, from that one direction, from that unidirection, but it'll also pick up a little bit of sound from the sides as well, okay? And then the term that you hear about the handheld mic is a dynamic mic. It's also referred to as a dynamic mic because, again, of its structure, and this one is built very strong. It's a steel case, so all the wires inside are very well protected, and you can be you can be a little less careful with it. Please, still treat it with respect. Treat all equipment with respect. Okay, so you've got those two, and then probably the third one that you're going to use is going to be what we call a shotgun mic. Now a shotgun, there I am again, look at me with my shotgun mic. Yeah, good example right there. A shotgun mic can be actually mounted on the camera, and it's similar to the handheld mic, to the dynamic mic. It is a dynamic mic because, again, it does have that steel casing and protection. But the thing that makes it a little bit more similar to the dynamic mic, or I should say to the handheld mic, is that like the handheld, it will pick up primarily from the front with that unidirectional pattern, but also from the sides. Now, the shotgun mic does even a better job of picking up sound from all around than the handheld mic, okay? We mentioned that the handheld mic will pick up sounds rather faintly from, all around in the environment. But the shotgun mic will not only get them from the front in the unidirectional pattern, but it will also get sounds from the side as well to a better degree than the handheld mic will. Okay, so again, you've got, if you start with the condenser mic, the lavalier mic, that's primarily just unidirectional. Sure, it'll pick up some sounds from, other directions. There's no question about that. Like for example, let's just say I'm sitting here and I'm wearing this lavalier mic. Well, if somebody were sitting next to me, like, another anchor person or whatever, right? And they were talking off mic, well, my mic would pick them up. You wouldn't be able to hear them very well. It wouldn't be very clear, but you'd be able to hear them. My point is that every mic picks up sound from all directions to some extent. Now, again, the unidirectional lavalier mic is going to be very faint in picking up sounds from other directions. The handheld or dynamic mic is going to pick up some sounds, limited sounds from other directions. Okay? And then you get to the shotgun mic, and the shotgun mic is even broader. It reaches further in being able to record sounds from all around or other directions. So think of it that way. Those are the three basic differences. The point, I guess, to this, guys, is that knowing which mic to use in a situation, depending upon what type of audio you want to capture, is important, because if you choose the right mic, you're going to get better sound, more quality in your audio than if you rely on the mic that's built into the camera. So often that's what we do. We just rely on the mic that's built into the camera. And again, that is an omnidirectional mic. So you do not get very clear sound. You get a lot of sound, but it's not very clear. However, if you use a shotgun mic or if you use a dynamic mic, you're going to get much clearer sound. You'll still get sound from all directions because both of those are omnidirectional to some degree. But the point is, that it'll be a much clearer, crisper audio than you would get from the camera mic. So we always like to think that the camera mic is broken. We want you to always think that the camera mic is broken. Don't rely on that. Don't rely on that unless you absolutely have to. Instead, think about what kind of audio you want to capture and what kind of mic is going to capture that audio the best for you, okay? Whether it be unidirectional or whether it be omnidirectional. And if it is omnidirectional, how much audio do you need, okay? Do you need a lot of the environmental sound? If you do, you want to go with your shotgun mic. If you need just a limited amount of surrounding sound or environmental sound, then you can just go with your dynamic mic, your handheld instead, okay? So think of it in those terms. All right, so those are the types of mics that you're going to rely on. And then I just wanted to mention real quickly the connections for those. And a good microphone is going to have what we call an XLR connection. XLR. All right, what that basically means, let's start with the simple part of it, the L and the R, okay? Without thinking too hard about this, we're really referring to the left channel of audio and to the right channel of audio. So that's the L and the R, and then the X is just simply a ground, okay? A ground or a shield to protect the audio signal from being interfered with. We have an XLR connection. And if you look at any microphone, you'll see the three prongs. And then, of course, what you do is you just simply plug those into the cable. And the cable has three holes, so you just snap it together, like we did, again, during the interview with the multi-camera project that we did in class. And as I said, it's very similar to just plugging an outlet into a wall. If you've got the same type of connection, you've got the three prongs, and you just, again, push those right into the wall jack. Here you get the same thing. You got the three prongs on the mic that you just simply push into the three holes of the audio cable, and you got it. You're set. They connect, they snap together, and you've got good quality because, again, you've got two channels. The X is the shield, so that's going to protect the audio quality of the L, the left channel, and of the R, the right channel. So XLR is your best connection. So that's basically talking about capturing audio and thinking about what type of microphone is going to work best for you. And of course, the idea is to always get audio, always get clean audio, okay? Think about audio as much as you think about video because, again, it will indeed add to the story. And in terms of telling the story, audio can play a very big part. So what you want to do then is you want to take that audio that you've captured and you want to edit it into your final project, right? You want to edit it into your final product, whatever that product might be. If it's an interview, say theoretically it's going to be an interview, somebody's talking about something specific, whatever they're discussing, you want to show video of that while they're discussing it. And what you want to do is you want to include the natural sound that comes with that video, the natural sound from the environment where that video was shot. So you've got the person talking, that's one audio track, and then you've got the natural sound that's part of the video of whatever it is that's being talked about. That's another channel, right? Okay, so now you've got two channels of audio that you want to blend together or mix together. And I have a feeling you probably did this quite a bit in 1995. So I'm just going to refresh your memory real quickly on how this is done. But the idea, again, is just to blend or mix two audio tracks together to create a nice balance so that you have the sound of somebody talking and you have the sound of the natural sounds that go with the video mixed together. And here's how you do that. So I have a couple of clips here that we can use to try to mix some audio. And again, I think this is just more of a refresher for you. But what we have is a volleyball coach here, just a basic interview shot. And what she's doing is she's explaining how a spike should be done, the proper way to spike a volleyball. So that's what this soundbite is here. And then we have some video actually of a player doing the spiking and a couple of different shots, and of course you'll hear the sounds when she goes up to hit the ball. So those are the natural sounds that we can mix with, again, the coach's voice as she describes how this spike should happen. All right, so let me go back to the coach here. And again, we're talking again about a basic interview situation here. And anytime we have a basic interview situation, the audio level should be coming in at about -12. It should be peaking at -12 over here. All right, you guys know where this audio or this VU meter or volume unit meter is in the timeline. It's right over here. And if you watch, this has actually been pretty well recorded. So if you watch when I play this interview or this soundbite, you're going to see it peaking right at -12.
Get her shoulder behind it. Get the elbow back high.
Okay, that's a perfect level for an interview.
Snap with the wrist.
All right, so then we've got natural sound. And again, this is the player actually spiking the ball. For natural sound, it should be recorded at about somewhere between -48 and -36, somewhere in this area, okay? You could probably get it a little bit higher, but I think -36 is probably your best. If it peaks there, you're going to be in good shape. So let's take a look at it here. And when she hits the ball, it's going to be about -12. So it's going to compete very well with the coach's voice. Too well. We don't want the natural sound to be as loud. So obviously, I'm sure you guys remember how that can be adjusted in terms of taking the sound down. What I'm going to do is I'm just simply going to use the rubber band method. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to lower this just a little bit. And now that I've taken that down, let's see where it peaks at. Yeah, much better, right? We're in that range we were talking about, right in here between -24 and -36. So let me play it one more time real quickly here, because that's where we want it to come in. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing then, obviously, with this one. I've got 3 clips here. This is clip number 3. This is clip number 2 here in the middle, and then this clip here, a very short clip, is my 3rd clip. And again, I'm going to bring that audio down. If I can get a hold of it, I'm going to have to open it up here just a little bit so I can see better where the rubber band is, and then I can bring it down to about the same level as the other 2. And again, I'm assuming this is something that's familiar to you from 1995, setting the audio levels. Oh, I like that. Yeah, it's coming in right about -36. So we're in good shape there. So now that we've got it, I'm going to, again, condense this just a little bit so we can see what we've got. And I'm going to bring this one over. I'm going to bring all 3 clips over here so we've got them. Bring them closer together so we can see them. And I don't even know if I'm going to use all 3 because it's a pretty short clip from the coach. But let me do this. Let me put these clips side by side here. And now that what I've done, again, is I've just simply adjusted these levels. So that's the way to do it. Start with your interview. Find the perfect level, again, which is going to be -12 for an interview. We know that that's what we've got here from the coach. And then take your natural sound, the clips with your natural sound, and just, again, set those levels so that they come in at between -48 and -36, and that's what we've done. So now that our audio is actually set, what we can do, of course, is we can mix it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to raise this up. As you know, you have to actually have the audio in a separate channel. So because we're going to mix the audio, we want the coach's voice, her audio, in one audio track, which in this case is going to be track number 1, A1, right over here. Okay, so right here is where we're talking about using the coach's audio. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring over the video. Let me play the coach's soundbite here first.
Okay, after the ball is set.
All right, after the ball is set. So now I'm going to go to my video. I'm going to drag it over, put it on top in video track 2, and the audio will be in audio track 2. I'm just going to do this with all 3 clips. Looks like 2 is all I'm going to need. Yeah, 2 clips will be fine. They're long enough because, again, it's a very short bite from the coach. But let's see what we've got. She comes in at -12.
Paige needs to
Here comes the play.
rotate the ball and get her shoulder behind it.
Okay.
Get the elbow
Comes the
back
next
high,
shot with the natural
reach,
sound.
Get her
Okay.
hand on top of the ball, snap with the wrist, and follow through.
Now, it wasn't loud enough. Okay, we couldn't hear it. We couldn't hear the natural sound. So what I want to do is I want to raise it. That's all. I'm just going to go back in. I'm experimenting here. I had my level at minus 48 to minus 36. I'm going to bring it up between minus 36 and minus 24. So, and if I do that, should allow me to hear it a little bit better, because I do want to hear the sound of her hand hitting the ball, and I want to hear the sound of the ball hitting the floor. So those are, those are key sounds in this case. So I want to be sure that we do hear those. And even though we set those levels, those natural sound levels initially, they need to be a little bit higher, that's all. So I'm going to go back in, and I'm just simply going to, again, use my rubber band here. And I'm going to raise those. And again, I'm assuming you guys know how to do this. And you see, the other thing is I know that it's not a real clear indication on here, unfortunately. It's hard. It's very hard to probably see what we're trying to demonstrate here. But again, this is just working with the rubber band, bringing it up on both clips, raising it just a little bit. And now it's trial and error. Is what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to play them and see how it sounds now.
Paige needs to locate the ball.
Much better.
Behind it,
much better.
Get the elbow back high. Reach. Get her hand
there it is.
on top of the ball. Snap with the wrist and follow through.
So you can hear that natural sound now, and it's mixed very clearly with the coach's voice. So they don't compete. They don't compete with each other, but it's more a matter of being balanced, with the coach's voice and the sounds of the ball being hit being mixed together very well, so you hear them both simultaneously. But again, the natural sound is going to be lower. It's always going to be lower than the interview.
Needs to locate the ball and get her shoulder behind it.
See how nicely that mixes?
Reach, get her hand
Yeah,
on top
that's
of the
great.
ball, snap with
That's
the
what we
wrist,
want.
and follow through.
So just out of curiosity, what I'm going to do is mute the coach's voice, right? In audio 1 here, I'm going to mute the coach's voice. And I just want to see where those levels came in audio-wise on the natural sound. So they did. They came in at minus 24. They're peaking at minus 24. So we actually need the natural sound at minus 24. We need the coach at minus 12, and that gives us the perfect mix that we need. So again, it's just a matter of blending the two audio tracks together to get that ideal mix. And this is something that we're going to be doing, and something we're going to be working with, obviously, in the next in the next 2 projects that we've got coming up. So this is just more of a refresher, but again, it's all based around audio. And please keep in mind to use the proper type of mic to capture the best possible audio, and then keep in mind that it has to be mixed together so that you have a good balance and blend between the voice of the interview and the natural sound with the footage.